Hi, guys. You have caught me in sunshine mode. Woo! Yes, I actually go outside once in a while in my crooked glasses. Actually, it's my real glasses. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about a interesting synchronicity that's been happening in my life for the past 3 days. Uh, it's pretty interesting. Um, It has to do, it starts, well, it doesn't start. It starts with me reading a book. I've been reading this book for quite some time now. It was recommended by a prominent researcher of human mutilations. No, I'm not dropping names. Don't ask. Because it's not like he's my best friend or anything. He just, I asked him for recommendations because, he seemed like the best person, and he recommended this book in relation to human mutilations, A Terrible Mistake, the murder of Frank Olson, and the CIA's secret Cold War experiments. Pretty interesting, and you have to wonder, what's the connection? Well, I'm working on learning that. And so I've been reading this as I can. I'm only starting chapter 5 just now because sometimes my work schedule makes it where I can't do anything. So I'll read like a page here and a page there. But today I got lucky. I read a whole bunch. Woo! And why is this a matter of synchronicity? Because a couple of days ago, I was listening to a lecture by Mark Pessia, and he said in passing that he had learned astrotheology. And I thought, what is this astrotheology thing? What is this thing? And so I looked it up and was introduced to the great world of the history of the church, the true history of the Bible, what the allegories actually mean as far as the constellation goes, and the significance of and I'm not going to say the word right, so I'm going to look it up, but this particular red mushroom, you'll recognize it. It's got a red cap. We tend to put gnomes and fairies sitting on it. It makes a little table. It's called the Amanita muscaria. Says here in this book, the species of psychoactive mushrooms mentioned in this book. Now, what's interesting is that when I was introduced to the great world of mushrooms, I was introduced first by a documentary I found. I thought I'll watch/listen to that. And it kept mentioning this book, The Sacred Mushroom. So then I'm reading this book, which should have nothing to do with the church history at all, right? It mentions the sacred mushroom. I'm not even past chapter 5 yet. Interesting bit of synchronicity. So if you haven't started looking into astrotheology, and more importantly, what the Amanita muscaria means to the Catholic Church and to Christianity, period, I highly recommend you begin. Now, before you begin, because I tried introducing a Christian friend of mine to the concepts that I had discovered of why the cardinals dress this way and why there are mushrooms in the fountains and why mushrooms are one of the earliest Christmas ornaments, things like that. She told me that it was stretching a bit because, unfortunately, this meant that a lot of what she had been told about, the Phoenix and the Knights of the Round Table and other things, her taking this stuff literally wasn't true. And it upset her. And I didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, so you're telling me that a guy with a big beard floating in the sky is not a stretch? Not that I'm an atheist, but, before you call someone else's information that's actually based on archaeology, anthropology, and science fact, you probably should consider what you're considering true, whether or not it's a stretch, and not throw stones at glass houses, as it were. So before you begin your journey into astrotheology, which I've only just begun, it's pretty intriguing stuff. Understand that if you are the God-fearing type, it's not going to make you stop believing in God. It's going to change your understanding of what you've been taught, which is pretty important, because wouldn't you rather know the truth